On our morning show today from WRCO, we put the spotlight on the Richland Area Chamber. Terry Richards and Christy Adson are in the studio to talk about upcoming events for 2026. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Phil.
Here we go. Downtown is just as cold as everywhere else.
It is. It was -5 on my truck.
Oh, boy.
But our hearts are warm.
Yeah, your hearts are warm. All right. And somebody told me there's only 8 more weeks before spring, so we're counting down.
Was that a gopher?
Yeah. He'll be
Ready
checking
for
his shadow, no doubt about it. Or what are some things you want to talk about today, Christy?
Well, we've got our upcoming annual retreat. Chamber board members, we take a day. Excuse me. I wish it was a week.
Take a week. Yeah.
A day, or half a day anymore. Anyway, it's where we all get together and we leave town. This is our 4th year doing it. In the past, we've gone to Toma area, Spring Green, Hillsboro, and used their Chamber of Commerce facilities. And we meet, we discuss our mission statement, our vision statement, our goals for the year. We kind of hash it all out. It's a good bonding thing. We get to know each other. Team building. Yep. And then we, usually at the end of the night, we invite our spouses to join us because I don't know about you, but my husband is as busy in the chamber as I am. Yes. And so we invite our spouses to come with us and have dinner. So we all get to meet each other, especially new board members, meet their spouses and things. And it's just a really good way to kick the year off.
What are some things you talk about usually, Terry?
I want to point out, though, this is not a retreat like we're getting our nails done or anything like that. There's
a spa?
No massage.
No
massages. But it's just a really nice time to be intentional about getting away and talking about the things that we just don't always get to in a meeting. And I've been on a lot of different committees and different groups, and it seems like you're always so busy doing the business of the meeting or the committee or whatever you're on that you don't take time to maybe review your mission statement again or figure out why you're actually doing what you're doing. And I think that's where burnout comes in. And so I think it's been really important and actually probably one of the highlights of the year. When you're a chamber board member, it's kind of like, wow, yeah, we can kind of sit together, talk about why we're all still working together, and then hit the reset button and come up with some good ideas for the next year.
I would guess, because you're all open for business at the same time. You don't get a chance to really chit-chat much, do you, Chris?
Right. No, and it's, we're all, rushing to get to the meeting on time. And
it's motion carried. Motion carried. Motion carried. Yeah, we're done,
It's and then we're usually a lot of them, people have families or we all have families, but kids and stuff. So they're rushing to get to that kid activity or whatever. So this is just a good time. And like I said,
acquired a few new board members as well. So they kind of need to get on
board
the process,
and understand, what our mission is, which our mission is to foster the growth of commerce and community. That's our big mission goal. And then we break that down into our vision statement, which is to support and promote the business community of the greater Richland area. Not just Richland Center, the greater area. Yeah. And then we do that through events, education, and partnerships with business and community. So we partner with a lot of nonprofits, and various business throughout the community for events, like the Wine Walk. We partner with a lot of businesses. Taste of the Hills, we partner with a lot of businesses. So those are all ways we try to support the community.
And it's corporate-sized businesses all the way down to your small mom and pop, maybe in the house. They don't even have a retail space. A lot of small businesses, solo entrepreneurs.
Are there some things that you've accomplished in the past by these things? Can you see some positive things that you've been able to change?
Well, we brought forward the chamber bucks. We brought some different membership things forward in the last few years. That a lot of our marketing materials, our brand, our identity came out of past retreats. Up changes we've made to our website, changes we've made to social media, all have come out of the work that we've done at Retreat, trying to actually live out this mission statement.
Indeed. And you're always looking for new members, right?
Yes, we are. We are. We've got over 60 members right now, which is awesome. Yeah. And like Terry said, we have everything from, larger corporate companies down to smaller single proprietorships where it's, just the owner. We're always, our membership drive starts in March, actually. So people can go to the Greater Richland Area Chamber of Commerce website, check out our Facebook page, and we have over 2,000 followers on our Facebook page. So we do a lot of collaboration on there, promoting, cross promotions. So it's an awesome way to get your business out there and highlighted and spotlighted, through the various social media channels and then on our webpage.
But also important to say that we don't just take them in March. We take anybody's money at any time. I learned that in business a long time ago.
yeah.
If somebody wants to give you a check, you just say, "Oh, thank you."
Take it. Right.
Yeah, you take it. You go.
Yeah. You can join anytime.
You
But
can join
that's
anytime,
Our big push is in March when we start.
when we focus on it.
And what is the membership dues? You may ask her.
Depending on the
Does it
size
vary?
of the business, it ranges anywhere from $50 up to $550. It's very affordable. If you divide that over a month, for 12 months of the year, and all the promotion and things you get for pennies on the dollar, basically.
Like less than $4 a month.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's very, and we do a lot of our social media person does a lot of reels and different things like that. Like I said, the following has grown significantly over the last years.
And our membership, our likes on Facebook are well over 2,500. So in this community, that's a pretty hefty amount of likes and in the community. And so we have quite a following. And so when you are a small solo entrepreneur and you only have a small following of friends and family, somehow, if you join in with the chamber, then we can push your product out to a larger group.
Looking back on 2025, Christy, was it a pretty successful year in the business community?
Yeah. I think, with all of the economic uncertainty and stuff, there was a little, I know myself, we were good business-wise. I didn't see as much growth as in previous years, but I think a lot of it just on economic uncertainty. People are kind of hesitant, especially I didn't see as much. I don't realize, tourist-wise and stuff, they were there, but I just didn't see the droves. And I think the weather, too. When we had events, Taste of the Hills was 100 degrees out.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And then even the wine walk, the weather was not the greatest either for that. So, but that's, you have to take that in stride when you have events. So, but yeah, I think overall the climate downtown, there's a lot of people out and about, different things that have happened. When they had the murder mystery, there was a ton of new people, which is, always the ultimate goal, even for us. And we help partner on that. We helped sponsor that some, but that was all Crime Stoppers did that whole thing. But that's all good. That's what we like to do. We like to collaborate with other organizations and stuff, try to get new people into town, because that's what helps build the network of people and build the business.
Yeah, Crime Stoppers were on just not too long ago. They're going to do it again.
Yeah,
so.
I know. That was, I talked about it last year, but it was really, I know there was times they were like, what was going to happen, but, it all worked out very well. So it was really, and they had an awesome day, and it was fun to meet. I had people stop in. I remember on that Sunday, we were open Sunday, and I had some characters sitting in my store, and they were dressed in cowboy gear. And this couple stopped by. They were from Sparta. They had gone up to Driftless Music Gardens, and they were coming through town, and they stopped and had breakfast at the store. And I was talking with them, and the guy goes, "Is there like a rodeo or something going on?" Or a horse show? And I'm like, "No." And then I explained to them. They're like, "Oh, cool." They were like, "Well, we have to." And I'm like, "Well, you can still participate." And they're like, "Oh, we got to get going." They were going back to Mount Horeb is where they're heading to. And But yeah, it was just funny. They're like, "Is there a horse show going on?"
Yeah, and all kinds of costume characters
Oh yeah,
walking the
there
streets.
was some doozies walking around.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
Sure. In your business, Terry, as far as rentals, how was it in 25?
We're staying busy.
Yeah.
We do find, though, we have the heated floors in our cabin, so I think people probably just sit in the cabin the whole weekend watching movies and staying warm. At least at this time of the year, it's a little tough. We got this great snow, and we could go snowshoeing if it wasn't -3. That's been a little frustrating. It'd be nice if we could get back up by 10 degrees, 15 degrees. I think we would see a lot more outdoor tourism kind of happening again. But our cabins are staying busy. Things are going well there. So
Yeah, even at the store, it's been super. January is always a slow month in the food industry or whatever, and I plan for it. But yeah, even I was surprised. We were open Saturday, and people are still out. People are braving the cold to come in and get this or that, and I was like, wow, I would stay home.
We went out for breakfast yesterday. I think it's because we were stir crazy.
Well, that's what I think people were. Friday too.
Yeah.
They was like, I just want to get out of the house. Or Saturday, I want to get out of the house. So, but yeah, it's.
Do you have heated floors at your house, Terry?
No.
So how does that work?
Not very fair. Yeah, I know our cabins do though, and they're lovely just to be able to walk around barefoot.
Oh, I bet.
Heated floors. Yeah,
Yeah.
feels great.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's look ahead a little bit now. We've talked about 25. Let's look at 2026. The wine walks have been successful, Terry.
Yeah, we've had always a great turnout with those, and we every year seem to get different businesses, so the route changes. We always have crazy themes. That people love that. They love to be able to dress up, and so wine walks have been a real success for the chamber and for the businesses that take part in it.
And planning on at least one of them this year, Christy?
Yep, we'll have another one. Right now, we're looking at September 26th. It'd be the last, I think that's the 26th, the last Friday in September. And Jamie Walsh works out with me on that, and so does Shelley Ferguson. And we're always looking for another, if there's a few other people that'd like to help with it. But this last year, we did offer stops that had non-alcoholic beers and wines for people to try too. So those were well received. So that just gave another option. Had a lot of good feedback from places. I know the auditorium was on it, and they were super excited because they got a lot of younger people to come through and see what had been done, and people that didn't even realize it was there. So that's always the thing I love to hear back from businesses is that they're like, yeah, people didn't realize I was here. So it's all good.
Yeah, get them in the door, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, plant the seed.
Yeah.
So that's going on. You mentioned Taste of the Hills. Is the plan to go ahead for that again this year, Terry?
Yeah, June 20th in June. So we will see Taste of the Hills
Hopefully
again.
it won't be 100 degrees this
Yes. Hopefully we can moderate this year. It seems like last year was just the year of the high and the low, and it'd be nice if we're in the middle this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had one night, I think, that was just about perfect. That might have been a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was so hot last year, and it was just, it was very unbearable. And
Yeah. And we thank you to all those that did come out.
it was like you were sweating just standing in place.
Yes.
So, yeah, but it was a lovely evening otherwise. It would have been about 20 degrees cooler.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, you have no control of that.
I know.
When you plan an outdoor event, you just never know, do you?
Yep. So,
And
we
that's-
always have good following, too, for it, so.
Right. So that you're going to bring in some music again this year for that event?
Yep,
And-
we haven't. Yeah, we've got to work on that and get that finalized. But music again, and then variety of food trucks from the area and stuff like that. So.
Very good. What about chamber? Any other thing you'd like to talk about in terms of the chamber this year? Anything else on the schedule? What about some things? I mean, I'm sure you get feedback from time to time. Anything that people tell you they'd like to see that you're contemplating?
Well, we sent out a questionnaire. We got some feedback from that. We're going to send out. We're updating that and sending it out again to see, what people would like as far as membership, what they would like to see the chamber do more of. And some of the response was basically, just continue with the promotion and things like that, cross promotions with their businesses. We're looking to try to collaborate maybe with some other groups to do some educational opportunities for our members. We try to offer some type of educational things, usually through the winter months, like February and March are good months to do that in, because people can't really go anywhere. And you got your taxes done in January or stuff done, so then you got January or February and March to do that. So that's what we're working on that, looking at a couple different opportunities there to offer some things. And those will be going out. We send out emails to our members for those things as well and promote them. We'd probably promote them within the community too. And then we're working on coming up with getting a newsletter out again to our members and trying to decide if we're going to do that, bi-monthly, monthly, quarterly, how that's going to, and it'd be, it's not going to be this long drawn out thing. It'll be fairly, page, 2 page, just keep members up to date, what's happening, highlight some members, new members, that type of thing, and events that are coming up.
We had quite a few business after 5 meetings this last year too.
Yeah.
Those are always a great success and enjoyable when the business opens up, to the community. Maybe does a tour like VARC did. That was very nice. Having a little bit of food, and it's just great to come together with the businesses, encourage them. Hub City Dirt Drakes did a few of those for us this last year, and it was great because they were able to expose the community more to what they're doing, what their mission is in the community for the Hub City Dirt Drags, and they're very active with their marketing and
Bring
so
a lot of people to town.
they
when
do.
have
They
that.
bring so many people, and we actually learned from them.
Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah,
have a
and-
really quality organization.
Yes,
So
and like VARC, we went out and we had the business after 5 there, and that I didn't realize some of the things that
That they
VARC
do.
offered.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was very informative and very. I mean, it's a good networking opportunity for our members, and as well as just to learn, you know, about another member, what they offer and things, and how maybe they could interact with that member and do another collaborative effort there. So. We also had a couple ribbon cuttings. We had Driftless Remax just opened up an office in town on Main Street, so we had a ribbon cutting there. And then Robin's Nest. It's Robin's. It's Blooms and More.
Blooms and
now.
More, yeah.
More,
So,
yeah.
yeah, we had a ribbon cutting there, and that was super nice to see that business to continue. And so, I mean, the downtown is filling. I mean, there's a few spaces, couple spaces open downtown, but there's a lot of activity going on downtown. So
When you have those ribbon cuttings, that's an exciting time.
it
isn't
is. It is. It's very exciting, and it's just, you know, it's so exciting to see the energy that they bring and just the excitement, and it helps us all, you know. So
And I think when you're a solo entrepreneur and you put that plaque up on your wall with the $1 bill or the $2 bill, it's a little cheesy, but it's wonderful. It feels like, yeah, all this hard work and, you know, energy passion that I've put into my new business, and I've got one of these now. I'm legit. So-
I've made it.
feels like
I've made
you give
it.
some validity
Yes,
to it.
yeah.
Yes.
So
it's, you can take it out of the closet finally, and you're ready to go. So,
yeah.
But
Oh, it's awesome.
yeah, so those are all good things. And then we're always looking to, you know, like I said, collaborate with businesses. If another business or members of ours want to have business after 5s, you know, those are not a winter thing normally. But to do those, or, you know, new people that are opening business, you know, to do a ribbon cutting and stuff. It's just a great promotional opportunity for them.
That was my next question. How do you determine who's going to be involved or who's going to be the spotlight business for after 5?
We'll have, I mean, we do try to do 3 or 4 a year maybe, but it's just basically, you know, if somebody reaches out to us, and then we kind of look at their schedule and try to work it with our schedule, and, you know, what's the best avenue to promote them and the best time. You know, sometimes some businesses are a little more seasonal, so then, you know, that's when we want to highlight it. So we're more than willing to work with anybody, and then we work around their schedule. So.
It's a great opportunity to educate people on that business,
Yes,
and
it
especially
is.
the business community about the business community.
Yes, definitely. And
Right.
there's a lot of businesses out there, like, I mean, I look down our list and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know they were, you know, and so there's a lot of new businesses in town.
What's interesting is a business like yours, Christy, you're kind of the information station sometimes
Definitely.
when you're open, because
Oh, yeah.
you have to be pretty well versed on who's got what and where to send them, right?
When you're selling tickets, or
We sell tickets for a lot of stuff, and then there's always people coming in, and we'll get a lot of tourists in looking for things, and, you know, I work with Marty to keep the tourism directories stocked at the store, but yeah, we'll always have somebody coming in looking for a variety. It never fails, and some of my high school girls are like, come back and look. I have no idea what they want. I have no idea where this is at. So.
Typical of that age group, I think,
yeah,
right?
it's typical. So, yeah, but it's all good.
How did the directory come out, Terry? I know one of the times you were here last year, you talked about that.
So we've been still working on that. We've got just a few chapters left before we're printing, but the plan is to print that this spring, so that we would have that. Just got kind of busy with fall activities, and then Christmas, of course, came. But now we're hit
Life happens.
Yep, life happens. It usually does, and then it gets better here in February, March, and April. So, yeah, we're hoping to finish that up so that can be printed and be ready for the summer.
And describe again what that is and what it's going to entail.
So what it would be is just really a book that, or a kind of like a guidebook that businesses can give to those that are considering it working for them. So like when the hospital's trying to recruit a new doctor, or one of the businesses in town is looking for a new veterinarian or something like that, they have something to give to that prospective employee that tells them about the community, the schools, the churches, the business climate, the organizations, all the different things, so that people are aware of them. And so it would be actually more like an evergreen content. It would be printed and probably good for a good 3-5 years maybe. So it would be just more of the story of us.
I love that when I stay in a hotel somewhere and I pick up a book, and because
and that's kind of how, I've been in enough hotels over the years
Right.
that that was kind of where I saw that is, some places, the hotels will have, just a paper one. Some will have, a nice book, you go to Austin, you see that in the hotel and you're like, okay, I want to look at all the different things that are going on. And some of it's tourism, but some of it's also just business climate, because people are always looking to move. People are always looking to relocate, and, we need to put our best foot forward to show them why they would want to relocate here. So,
and it's a good tool for realtors and stuff, and we have a number of realtors, but also I think the huge thing with it too is, we have these people that are remote workers or these, moving into town. We need them to become involved in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, like last night at the Make a Difference, Kiwanis, 15 members. I mean, that's crazy. There's no reason that volunteer groups have such a struggle. And I think some of it comes from, we do have a lot of vacant landowners here, but we also have a lot of people that work remotely. And that's what we need to get those people, somehow reach those people and get them and have them want to get involved in the community and become part of the community. So, and I think that's where this tool could really come in handy.
Well, and living in a small community, it's not just about the beauty of our hills and the wonderful nature that we have outside our door, but it's getting to know people and having real authentic relationships with them, that, we think it's no big deal to have a soup supper or whatever at our church, but for some city folks, what's a soup supper? They've never done anything like that. And so, but they need to be kind of invited too. They need to know about it, and so things like that. If we had a nice book like that the chamber would be printing now, it wouldn't be something we'd charge for, and we're not going to put a ton of ads in it either. It's going to be usable, readable information, but it'd just be nice to be able to put that out and share that with people.
Look forward to when that's done. Let us know about that. Sure.
Thank you, Phil. You keep me on task.
I will.
You will. Yes.
To-do list for
I can't come back until I have that
26.
done. See you next year, Phil.
You mentioned the program last night, Richland Rejuvenates and Making a Difference Awards. What a tremendous program, Christy.
It is. It's like we always talk about at the chamber. I mean, we don't pat ourselves on the back for doing great things, and it's like we need to do that. Everybody needs, and I think that's a wonderful opportunity to self-promote. We've got some great businesses, some amazing people. Like just when we were talking about getting to know people. When I was talking with for the pickleball, Paul and Roseanne Knorr, we were talking about afterwards, and they've taught a lot of people how to play pickleball, but like the friendships you've made, and that's the whole part of just the camaraderie, and they're all, Paul goes, we're all 60-year-olds cranky old people. And I'm like, no, not really, but and that's a part of it. That's part of life. That just, you think about your own life and just the friendships and on the journey that you've made and collaborations with people, and that's what life's about. You want to be successful, but in the end, that's what matters, is those connections. And I think that's a huge thing, and that's what, as the chamber, we try to do, is try to connect people, whether what avenue of business they are in. And a lot of times they have a lot more areas that they can help each other on than, we're all here to make money, but if we all work together, make those connections, we can all be that much more successful, and this community can grow and be better. So that's my 5 seconds on the stop.
Yeah, well said.
And pickleball's in the guidebook.
Pickleball's in the guidebook.
It is. There's a section on that. That was easy to write.
Yeah. So, and it's just you think about things, and like that little small group, what that's blossomed to.
Oh,
it's crazy.
Right.
It's community, though.
It's community, and it's not just Richland Center. And and I was listening to that last night. It's not just, and that's what made me think of us, because we're not just Richland Center. We're the whole Richland Center area, Richland County and beyond. And they have people from all over come and play pickleball, so, which is awesome. And even Simon's is that way. It's not just Richland Center. It's, so that's all awesome that, people are being involved, and that's huge.
Pickleball Federation now.
There we go.
It really sounds large.
I know, it does. It sounds enormous.
And we do want to congratulate, the Business of the Year was a chamber member.
Yep,
Wild Hills Winery.
Yeah.
So
They've
Colleen
done
and Aaron,
work.
they've done a lot of work up there on the hill, and so they were part of the start of the growth of tourism around here. So between them and the Pine River, our hills and valleys. So
and a great example of a business kind of thinking outside the box, and how can we bring people in and have special nights, and they did a nice job in their acceptance last night as well.
It was a very good night. It was, kudos to you guys and Richland Rejuvenates for starting that many years ago, and I think it's a really good thing for the community to remember and take part in. And it was great. There was such a great crowd, too. It was really a nice crowd, so that was awesome.
And the real, it was Mick Cosgrove that did it, but to put Jean Burkett on last, because how could you follow that?
I know. She was awesome. She was awesome. I hope at 98, if I make it that long, I am that with things.
Exactly. Anything else you ladies would like to add this morning?
No, we just,
If you're thinking of joining the chamber, we'll of course take your check at any point. But we would love to have you, and we're always looking for more board members, throughout the year as well. So, like to keep things fresh, and so.
Or if you'd like to help us with one of our events, or if you have an idea for an event and you need someone to help sponsor it and things, come see us, and we'll take a look at it.
Or if you want to host Business After 5 this next summer, you're maybe already planning an event and you want to just kind of do a co-event, we're up for that. So.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, you'll come back and see us next month. And I know we've been trying to spotlight different businesses to get them on and kind of talk about what they do. So we'll look forward to that.
All right. Sounds very good. Thank you, Phil.
Thanks, you bet. Terry Richards and Christy Edson joining us representing Richland Area Chamber on The Morning Show.